Hello, welcome back to part 17. We're picking up with the grip, and where we left off last time is we did the risers and with string and leather, and now we're going to wrap the whole outer leather covering on the upper portion of the grip. If you remember, the bottom portion is wire wrap. So to do that, we measured and cut our piece of leather, and we use anywhere between 3 to 5 ounce leather. Usually, the thinner the better for the outer covering. And so first we need to skive the edges because the leather is going to overlap. So when they overlap, you don't want to bump. And then we need to wet leather and mold it down. So let me go wet the leather and then get this guy back apart, and we'll pick up in a few minutes. So we got our leather skived and wet, and our handle ready. So skiving is important, especially in a handle like this where you can't use the cord to really over print and push the leather together. We don't have this in this design, so we want to get that edge down to 0 so when they overlap, the edge kind of blends in. So now that we got it done, so basically I'm going to line up my handle to where I want it. And then the wet form leather is pretty malleable, so I'm just going to kind of press it in there and start getting the shape. And I'm going to use this to kind of line up where I will put it next, which I'll describe in a minute here. But if you can see, we're getting that imprint of the X already, just from the cord and the risers there. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to use that imprint to be, I'm going to put epoxy or contact cement on both surfaces, and then start pressing everything in, and then re-wet the leather and just continue to push it in. So this will take a bit to dry, so we will come back in a sec. Okay, we have the epoxy applied, and now we line everything back up, and once it's together, it's not coming apart, so we gotta get it right. So again, leather, epoxy on it, and then this guy. So the contact cement is, you gotta epoxy both sides and then let it dry. So now we gotta line it up and get it right. Okay, pardon my nervousness. Okay, and then we start pressing it down in place. So it's a little bit of a process. It's going to take a couple different iterations here. Got to get it all pressed in. So as you can see, it's slowly starting to come, and due to the nature of it, it has to overlap. We can't do it all at once. So I got the first half done. I'm going to press it over and then finish the gluing on the second part. You're going to let that dry, and then I'll do the final pressing, so we'll be back in a sec. So we got the leather all wrapped around, pressed in, and I'm just using my fingers and a little pencil to kind of push everything at this point. So I re-wet it again, and now I cut this foam pad. Remember I said we don't have the overwrap cord, which really presses everything down. So what we're going to do instead, make sure everything's all pressed in place, is I'm going to wrap this foam around here, and then I'm going to duct tape this as tight as I possibly can to really get a good compression all throughout the whole piece. Then we'll let that dry, and then the last step will be dyeing it black. So be back for that in a second. Okay, we're back. So the foam ended up going quite well. As you see, it kind of pressed everything in and evened everything out on the wet leather. Then we dyed everything black, so now she's ready to go. So we'll see how it looks on the blade. So next video will be, there we go. Looks pretty good so far. So next video will be, sorry, the sun went down, so it's a little darker out today. Next video will be the wire wrap, and then final assembly, and she'll be ready. Hopefully we'll have her out at Combat Con this year. So thanks again, and I'm forgetting where my camera is. Here it is right there. So thanks again, and we'll catch you in the next one.